Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flyers RC. Alright, we've got the DURAFLY Tundra here. Okay, version 3. I now have her all bound up. Okay, but I've done nothing more than that. I've got her bound up and I've given her a name. And that's all I'm going to set, and I picked the image. Other than that, we're going to go from there. I'm going to show you how to do everything. Once you've got her bound, okay, and you've got communication between your thing, it's important. We're going to be using AR630, so we're going to be using forward programming, setting up AS3X safe and safe for self-leveling, AS3X for wind mitigation, and then I'll show you how to turn the gyro off. We're going to have 3 flight modes, one where the gyro will be turned off. But the first important step, most important, is to make sure, is that all your control surfaces are going correctly before we do anything else. So right aileron, left aileron, up elevator, down elevator, right rudder, left rudder. So when I know now all my control surfaces are now correct, okay? Put that on hold for just a minute. I want to tell you a little bit about hooking this receiver in. You're going to put your receiver back here, okay? There's one Y included in the kit. That Y is for your lights. You've got one light for right here in the front, and then you got this strobe underneath. You connect those Ys, okay, and then you're going to plug them into your bind port, kind of like a 7th channel on that AR630, okay, because it only needs power, okay. And then I've got my receiver mounted this way because of the way the leads go, so it's sideways. All right. The other thing I've done for modding is I have unhooked the ball link here. I just unscrewed it and I moved it all the way in to give me maximum throws on the elevator. Okay, maximum throws. Now I'm going to get more, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, the rudder, I did not do this. I didn't do that too. I left it alone. The elevator, I did get maximum throws. And the prop is balanced. Okay, so now we got our receiver in there. It's installed where I want it. Okay, and I know that everything is going the right direction. Let's talk about forward programming now. Okay. Try not to talk too loud as I get closer to the mic here. All right. You know everything is set up right. So you're going to go down here. Now, like I said, I've already named it. Let's go ahead and do our throttle cut right off the bat. I'll highlight that. I like using H, so I'll highlight H. Okay. Now, if it's down, it's going. Now it's off. So that's the first thing you're going to do is do a throttle cut. Okay. Then you're going to go down here to forward programming. Okay. All right, gyro settings. Okay. You know what? It didn't give me the first time setup. So let's, this is an older receiver. So this is something you do if you, hold on. Utilities. Hold on just a second. Here we go. Old settings. Factory reset. I'm going to reset this receiver. Okay, now we're blank. Okay, first time setup. Yes. Make sure the model has been, all the control surfaces are going the right way. And we are. We know we got our ailerons, elevator, rudder all going right. Okay. So we'll go next. Yes, wing type's right. Set the model level. Now here is something that with a tail dragger you need to pay attention. If it's sitting here like this, okay, that's not level, okay? Level is more like that, okay, where the plane would be the way it would be flying. So I'm going to leave it like that, okay, and then I'm going to hit continue. Then it's going to tell you to put the model on its nose, okay? That way it learns which way is down and hit continue. All right, now it understands the orientation of the plane. It also understands the orientation of which way is up and down. The computer now knows that. Okay. All right, so we're going to hit continue. Now this is where we're going to hit. This is where I talked about, you know, your gain. Well, I haven't said it. We're going to check your gain channel. I like using this up here, or aux 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to aux 3. And I like using this knob here. That way I can turn my. I'm going to turn the gains all the way down for right now. Okay. Knob. I'm going to hit next. Okay. Hit apply. Model's going to go through a little dance. Okay, now we are ready to set up safe. Forward program again. Gyro settings again. And we're going to go to the first time safe setup. Okay, you're going to hit your FM channel. Yes, and this is where we're going to pick where I want the levels of safe. I like using B, my B channel. So I'm going to go down here. I want aux 2 or B. Okay, next. Okay, continue. Now, see where it says flight. This I'm gonna go all the way. That's flight mode 1. Next. Next. Okay, it says level, model, and capture attitude. Now again, with a tail dragger, this is not level. Okay. That's not, this doesn't fly, it'd be going up. So you want to set it up, okay? You may have to hold it, okay? And I'm going to hit, now I'm going to highlight level, model, and capture attitude. Okay? It's got a negative for roll, and a -2 for roll, and a -3 for pitch. Pitch just means, you know, pitch is up or down. So I need to lower this, maybe hold it a little bit further down, and level, model, capture attitude again. See what I get. Okay, pitch is a +5, so too much. So let me get it secured against myself here. All right, pitch is perfect, and roll is just -2 because my table is not perfect. Okay, so I'm going to capture that there. So that means it knows that right about there is perfect level flight. Okay? And that's what it looks like now. When you want to get these numbers here as close to negative, as close to 0 as possible. My table is not perfectly level, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Okay? I'm in flight mode 1. Okay? All right. See where it says safe mode is inhibited? Well, I want that to be. I want safe on there, so I'm inhibiting that. I'm turning that on. Okay. Next, apply. Plane's going to go through its little dance, and you notice you got 2 dances now. Okay. Okay. Forward programming again. Gyro settings again. Go down here to F mode now. Okay. We're already in the furthest switch away, which is flight mode 1. I'm going now to move it to flight mode 2. See where it says AS3X is active? Okay. Now I'm going to switch this towards me for flight mode 3, and this is where I can turn the gyro off. Instead of being active, I'm going to inhibit it. Okay. All right. Now, with safe, in other words, flight mode 1, when I pick up this model, it's in safe, what should happen here? The elevator should, the control surface should move and hold their position to self-right the plane. So look at that elevator. Look how that elevator is holding its position up. Okay? Watch the ailerons. Okay? See, they're holding their position up. They're holding the position that would right the plane. Look how they go back to level. Okay, now another way you can tell. See, the model's trying to right itself. Okay, pay attention to that elevator again. As I pitch the plane up, look at that elevator's angle. Kind of see. See right there? Kind of hard to see. See right there? It's holding its position up. And then watch as I level the plane back to level flight, now it's level. Okay, so that we know is safe, is working correctly. So if I go to flight mode 2 now notice they moved. Okay, you're thinking, well, that's AS3X, I don't hear no gyros. Well, remember, I picked the roller and I turned the gains all down. Well, I'm going to turn them all the way up. So now I should hear gyros. Oh, you know what's going on? AS3X does not engage until you've upped the throttle over 25%. So turn the throttle on. I don't have the prop on. Okay. Looky there. Okay, hear it? Hear it? I've got the gains turned all the way up, and they're reacting. Hear the gyros. Don't forget, if you don't bump your throttle up over 25%, your AS3X is not going to be active. All right, so to recap this, so we go over it again, just so you know, we're not going to miss anything. You're going to go down here to forward programming. Make sure your throttle cuts off. You're going to go to gyro settings. Okay. First thing you're going to do, you're going to make sure you got your F modes. You're going to pick, for me, flight mode 1 is safe. Flight mode 2 is just AS3X. And then flight mode 3 is nothing. Okay. There's no kind of gyro help at all. See? Don't hear anything. I go back to AS flight mode 2. Now you can hear it. So that's how you turn your safe and your AS3X on and off. Okay? Now, let's talk about flaps and rates. Okay? Now if you look, them flaps are all the way down. I have not picked what channel. When you set this model up, okay, when you're going through here and you're setting this model up, let's go out to, I know I'm kind of jumping around here, okay, when you get your aircraft type, you're going to pick one aileron, one flap, okay, get back. All right, so let's go down here to flap settings. Now I like using my D switch, so I'm going to highlight that. Okay, D. Okay. Now I know my D switch is my flaps, so I'll go to flap system. Well, hold on. D. D. All right, now for flaps all the way up, in other words, position 0, with this all the way up, we got to make them work. So let's see what happens. Oh, look, if I go negative, watch those. Look, if I'm starting to go negative, watch the flaps in the foreground. Well, they're a negative 100%. See? Negative 100%, but look at them. They're still down just a touch. Let me show you a little trick on that before we go any further. Go to servo setup. Go to travel. Okay? Travel. Go down here to the flaps. Okay? Alright. Now it highlighted the last movement. Well, and I'm going to increase that. Look what's happening. I'm increasing the numbers. I went all the way to 150. And look, the flaps are now even. Okay? And that's how you fix that. Okay? So we can go back to our flap system. So now we know that when flaps are up in the negative position, they're all the way up. Okay? Let's go to our takeoff flaps. Okay? Put it in, that's way too much for takeoff flaps. So let's change that. Oh, hold on. My roller is so sensitive. Let's bring that up to I think a negative 50. That looks good for takeoff flaps. Okay? Landing flaps, they say in the book you want your landing flaps to be 90 degrees down. Oh, just barn doors down. So the more then I've actually got it here. If you look, they're not 90 degrees down. And on the spectrum, that's a positive 0, okay, or 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 0 and I'm going to make it to a positive 50. Okay, now look at those flaps. That's still not really 90 degrees, but that is more than enough. That's pretty, and look at this, there's space in between. I mean, that air will go right through there. You see, that's 90 degrees down, okay? Now, the book doesn't say, I didn't see anything about a flap to elevator mix, but you can't tell me that this plane is not going to pitch up a little bit when I put these flaps in. So what I'm going to do, just for now, I don't know how to use those kind of mixed flight modes yet. I know I need to learn how. But what I'm going to do is we're going to guesstimate. Okay, let me move the camera a little bit where you can see the elevator along with the flaps there. Okay, all right. All right, so what I'm going to do is for takeoff, with this negative 50 for takeoff, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put in 15 for now. No, not 35. Come on, go back down. I'm putting 15% down elevator. And then for landing, I'm going to put in 25%. Because there's a very distinct movement. All right, now pay attention to the elevator. Okay, I want to put flaps up. Okay, look at that elevator. I'm going to put in takeoff flaps. Notice how the elevator came down a little bit? And I'll put in landing flaps that came down even more. We're going to try that. Now, if when I put on landing flaps and she still balloons, okay, then I will increase this to maybe 35. And I'll find that sweet spot where when I deploy landing flaps and she just starts slowing down nice and level, okay? Same principle. Now, if she starts to dive, then I will decrease this down to maybe 15. And then you just keep playing with the numbers. Now, you could put this on a roller, but I honestly, I don't know how to do that yet. I'm going to be honest. I haven't figured out how to do that yet to where you could do it on the fly. I'm sure it's not hard. I just haven't figured out how to do that. I fly the plane. I see how I like it. And then I land it and I adjust accordingly. So, well, anyways, that's the principle. If you're flying along and you deploy whatever flap, takeoff flap, and she starts to balloon, sure, go up, well, then you need to increase your down elevator mix. If she starts to dive, then you need to decrease your elevator mix, okay? If she balloons, increase. If she dies, decrease, on whether it's flaps or takeoff flaps or landing flaps. That's just how I work flaps. I want the plane to start slowing down. I mean, I don't want to go up, I don't want to go down, I want it to start slowing down for me and staying level for me. So it's set up for the landing. Okay, let's talk about rates. Oh yeah, and also I'm going to go ahead and down here at the bottom, I'm going to, instead of them flaps working so quickly, I'm going to change that speed to, if I can get, my roller is so sensitive. I'm going to change that to 2 seconds. Okay, now watch the flaps. Not quite as abrupt. That also works with the mix too. Okay, now let's talk about rates. Okay. Now, one thing I noticed, look at that elevator. To me, like I said, I did move it to the inside hole, so I've got the most movement I can get mechanically. Now, I could go in there and undo the elevator servo arm and go to the furthest out point on the servo to where I get the most arc and then I get the most movement. But I'm going to just do this electronically instead. And here's how we do that. I want more movement with that elevator. Okay, here's what I got. I got maximum movement with the elevator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to servo setup, go to travel, okay, and I'm going to go to elevator. And I'm going to increase that to 150. And that gives me the most electronically I can get out of that elevator. While I'm at it, see how my rudder? I'd like to have more on that rudder, so I'm going to do the same thing to my rudder. I'm going to go ahead and increase that to 150 also. And that gives me more rudder. Okay, now I'm okay with ailerons. That's more than enough move for ailerons, so I'll leave them at 100%. But let's talk about rates now. Okay, rates and expo. Okay, I like using my G switch. Okay, so I'm going to go down here. I'm on our aileron, and I'm going to switch this to G. Okay, then I'm going to go up here, and for me, having the G switch in the furthest away from me, to me, is that's the down position. So I'm going to consider that my low rate. Furthest away is my low rate. So I need to go up here and change. I'm going to take that down to 80. Okay, I like 30% expo. Okay, now I'm going to move the switch, the G, to the middle position. Change this number to 90. With 30% expo. And then you guess it, I'm going to pull the switch all the way to me. It's already at 100, and I'm going to put that 30% expo. Okay, so you've seen that process. Okay, high rate, mid rate, low rate. And it's very subtle. Okay, now we're going to go up and we're going to do the same process for elevator. Got to assign the switch first, G. All right, I'm already in my low rate, so I'm going to go up here. Take that down to 80. 30% expo. Okay, go to my middle position. Take the elevator to 90. Uh-oh. 90. 30% expo. And then high. Okay. Now, with a rudder, I do a little bit different. I take a rudder and I leave it in the on position, and I just give it 30% expo. Okay. And that's that. Okay. Let's talk about CG. 100% rudder. I'm in my high rates. 100% ailerons. 100% elevator for ailerons. Barn doors. Okay. For that, and then that's going to be takeoff. We will play with that at the field. Now, as you can see, everything out of the box was pretty well trimmed. I mean, everything is straight. I did have to do that little trick with the flaps, but everything is nice and trimmed. Okay, that's good. I call that bench trim. You can't tell the plane's perfectly trimmed until you fly her. Bench trim is where you start. Flying is where you finalize it. Let's talk about CG now. I've got a 2200 4S in here. I have it pushed all the way forward, almost all the way forward. And then I got the strap on there. So you can see where it's at. Hopefully you can see. Okay. All right. CG is 50 to 60 millimeters back from the leading edge of the wing. Leading edge of the wing, that puts it right about even this black stripe. Okay, so we'll go underneath here, kind of figure that out with your fingers, you know, and that's straight. But that's pretty good, but we don't have the prop on. We got to put the prop. Make sure my throttle cut is on. Throttle doesn't work. Okay, before I put on the prop, because that is weight, we do have to measure that. The prop was already balanced, so I don't have to worry about balancing it. Put the prop on where blades towards me. Very simple prop to put on. And the one nut holds it on there. So I'm not taking this off yet. Okay. That's on there. Find my right underneath that tape there. And that is pretty darn level. Alright. I'll set my initial timer. I'll go ahead and show you how to do a timer while we're here. while we're doing it. Set my timer for 5 minutes. Already on 5 minutes, which is good. Go next, next. I'm going to put my audio stuff in there I like. I like voice for that one, voice for this one, voice for this one, voice for this one. Now this one I like the whole get down. Voice. Okay. Voice. Now look. Props off. Hear that beeping every time I hit that throttle? I'm going to show you how you turn that off. You go to the next screen here. See where it says tone? Inhibit. 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 Alright, now let's go ahead and get some more volume. Okay?
Volume 100.
And that's how you do that. Alright. At this point, we have CG set up. I've got rates of 100, 90, and 80 over 30% expo. I've got on my
Volume 100.
my flap system as of right now on Spectrum are negative 100% with a travel fixed to where they're all the way up for flaps up. I've got a negative 50 on the Spectrum for negative 50 on Spectrum for takeoff, and then I've got a positive 50 on Spectrum for landing. With takeoff, the percentage for the mix is 15%. Down elevator for landing, negative or positive 25%. Now, that's just me guessing here based upon my experience with these kind of high wing planes. I will adjust accordingly when I get it to the field. I know, like I say, I talked about this a while ago about flight modes. I'll do it on the fly, but I honestly don't know how to do that yet. I'll figure it out one of these days and I will do it, but because that would be easier to do that on the fly. All right, so there you go. We've covered, prop is off. It's a good looking plane. It's very light. They have, by putting all the hex head, oh, by the way, on the tool, you know, when I was building, I know I grabbed my tool. I grabbed the wrong Allen wrench. Their Allen wrench does fit, and it was just, I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed mine because I got such a junky desk because I refused to clean it up. Okay, but the one does work. All right, we've talked about rates. We've talked about CG. We've talked about throttle cut. We've talked about how to program safe and AS3X and all that. My impressions on the plane is it is the same material as their version 1 and version 2. However, they have gone in here and they've made some vast improvements. Number one, those wing connects are far better than what was on version 1 and version 2. The struts seem to fit a lot better. Everything, the fit and finish is better. I didn't have to mechanically change anything for the way they had it set up as far as trim. I wanted more throws on the elevator, so I moved the control surface to the farthest point in, closest to the control surface, to where I can get the most throws mechanically from that point down there. But that's my own personal preference. I like a lot of elevator. You still have to glue on each and every one of these vortex generators, which is no big deal. Just make sure you use a good glue. I use typical rubber cement or foam tack type glue. They should not have gone back to these hard. Yes, the DURAFLY on the Signo side does look cool as can be, and the soft rubber wheels they had on version 2 are preferable. They are a little flimsy though, so I kind of understand why they did this. And these are light, so they save on light. They save on weight. So I'm kind of mixed blessing on that. Construction is very straightforward. I didn't have to use instructions. If you put any of these together, you can kind of look at it and tell. They should have given you a little better labeling on the screws. The instructions really doesn't show you, it just shows you a measurement. Well, I like a picture. If it's pointy and it looks like a wood screw, show me a screw that looks like a wood screw. If it's a metal screw, make it flat, let me see the picture of it. And so that's just my own gripe. The fit and finish on the foam is better than version 2 in my opinion. the way the foam feels, it does feel a little dry to me, but they do have a nice clear coat. It's very light, but it feels much lighter than the last plane. Maybe it's just me, but it feels lighter. I can't explain it. It feels lighter. I'm thinking that with a 2200 4S, if you get this thing up there and you just kind of taxi around, you'd probably get 10 minutes of flight time. I'm thinking this thing's going to be very, so as light as it is, going to be very efficient. But we shall see. We shall see. Buy yourself an extra prop just because. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we covered rates, we covered CG, we covered how to set up safe and all that. I took us outside, did a range test. These lights, it's the middle of the night right now. These lights are super, super bright, so you're not going to have any problem. Remember that Y, you just simply Y that into, you can Y it with anything, but Y it into your bind port, your receiver, because it just needs power. That's all it needs. All right? Well, folks, thank you so much. I'm sure I left out some stuff, but there's other videos out there. Model Aviator, AV8R, is an awesome resource. He recommended this plane to me, and I actually bought it through his link. I'm not an affiliate. I guess he is. If you're wanting this place, please go to Model Aviator. It's AV8R, Model Aviator, and use his link to buy this plane if you want it. He's a great guy. He's a straight shooter, and you know, he's not going to mess around. He's not saying, "I want you to buy this plane because it lines my pocket with money." No. If it's a pile of crap, he's like me. If it's a pile of crap, he's going to say it's a pile of crap. If it's got problems, he's going to say, "Here's the problems." But he's going to say, "Here's how you overcome it." If you still choose to get the plane, I'm of the same opinion. Yes, I'm an affiliate with Free Motion RC and Hobby Zone. But both of those companies are like, no, if there's a problem, say there's a problem, okay? Because we can't improve and we can't keep a customer long term if we go for the short sale now. And I'm one of the same thing. If my integrity in my channel, if I say, hey, this is the best thing you'll ever fly, it's perfect, man, don't waste your time, get it now, so I get that commission, and then you get that, and I already know it's a pile of crap plane, you get it, what good is my integrity now? And are you going to refer to me as someone you can listen to about planes, right? Okay, so all you naysayers out there about, well, if you're an affiliate, I'm not going to pay attention to you. I'm in this for the long haul, okay? I have a significant investment in planes and time and money in this, okay? Trust me, at the end of the month, for my YouTube money and what I get off affiliates, I'm very much in debt, okay? I'm not breaking even. So, well, why do you do it? I do it because I love it. I love putting these planes together. I love sharing these planes together. I love seeing someone say, hey, I bought the plane based on your recommendation and I set up the weight and I love the thing. Thank you so much. Or, hey, you showed me how to put a radio system in and, man, it jam up. Thank you. That just thrills my heart because I had to teach myself everything about this hobby. I had YouTube, a little bit of help here and there from people I could call. But basically, I'm self-taught. But my thing is, I want you to get that advantage. Learn from my mistakes, okay? If I can help you, if I can point something out and say, hey, I found this out, you don't want to do this because it might cause you heartache, and then I keep you from doing that, and you save yourself some money, some time, and pain, we both win. Now, if I'm wrong in what I do and what I say, be nice about it. Say, hey, I notice you're doing this. That's not really the right thing to do. This is the proper way, and this is my results. Great. That's called constructive criticism, and then we can all benefit from that. I'm learning too as we go along, you know. But I just may know more because more time, because this, you know, I'm learning through my wallet, you know. Okay. But if I can teach you something, you can teach me stuff. No matter what, we're improving the hobby because, folks, let's face it, in this day and time, you know, instant gratification on everything, video games and all that kind of stuff. If we don't fight for this hobby and don't invest in the hobby and keep putting it out there, these kids aren't going to want to fly it because they got something that's instant right there on the computer. They don't have to do anything. I want these kids outside making a memory with these planes like Josh Bixler says in Flight Test. You know, get a kid, take the planes out and make a memory. Well, that's what this is all about because otherwise, I don't want our generation to die out and this hobby go bye-bye. Okay, it's a wonderful gateway into the sciences and aerospace and all and the technical and everything about it is so good and it's so life affirming. It's positive. Let's get the kids involved. Okay, this was a radio setup that went into my personal rant. Okay, but that's me. All right. God bless y'all. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me pay for my mountain of debt on planes. And if you like this plane, go to Model Aviator. Use his link to buy it. He gets a commission, from what I understand. And, or I might be wrong, he may not. But I bought it through his link, and he said thanks. So, God bless y'all. Bye-bye. Real quick, I forgot about the feature of this plane has thrust reverse. We're all about that. So let's make sure we incorporate this in the video. All right. In your transmitter, okay, remember I said you're going to plug that little yellow wire to signal up the top part of the receiver into your channel 5 or your gear channel. Okay, so what you do, I like all my reverse thrust I put on my C, because that's where all my brake functions I put on C, because that's what I'm used to. All right, so what you do is you go to System Setup. You're going to go to Channel Assign. Okay, and I'm going to change that to C, because that's where I like my thrust reverse. Okay, now it may be reversed. All right, prop on. I'm going to hold the model. Okay, all right, that's normal. Okay, that's normal. I'm going to pull the C down. It should push. Okay, I did something wrong then. Okay, yeah, okay. The way, all right, with it all the way up, it's pushing, okay? All right, now I want that reversed, because I want to be able to pull down, pull the switch towards me. So what I'm going to do, I'll go to Servo Setup, Travel, Reverse, and that's the gear channel, okay? Reverse it, go back out. So now, with my switch all the way up, that should be normal. It's going to push, okay? Now I'll pull down, should push that way. Yeah. And it is. All right. I forgot to cover that, okay? Let me show you that again. It's all cut on, where I don't have anything, okay? You go to your
Volume 100.
Yes. You go to your system setup. Okay. You're going to go to channel assign. Okay. And you're going to change your gear channel to whatever position switch you wish to use. I like using C. And then you back out of that. And then it may be reversed, so you may have to reverse it for your liking. Okay, I forgot to uncover that, but that's how you use the reverse thrust. Okay, that's how you program it. Anyways, you use it, you land on however you want, time it just right, and it's a whole different story. Okay, I forgot I had to add that. All right, bye.